Hello, hello, and welcome to day 2 of our Igniting, Unearthing Your Inner Strength challenge. Welcome back if you were here with us yesterday. If this is your first day coming to join us today live, welcome, welcome, welcome. As I was playing Eye of a Tiger, I got carried away because then the words themselves, I hope you will go back when we send you the replay and listen to the words again of Eye of a Tiger, because it's getting back on your feet again. It's recognizing your inner strength and literally using the strength of who you are. If you can't see me and you're just hearing my voice, I am on video right on the right-hand top corner of your video right now. And again, I will start off by reminding all of you that I start off by being on video so that we can accommodate everyone. There are some people that are visual and there's some people that literally just are audible. The reason why I will do the rest of the program in audio is because I want you to be able to focus on the content that we have, and with little to minimum distraction as much as possible. So let me start off by going through yesterday. How was the program yesterday? Did you have an opportunity to review the video from yesterday? And if you have not, I want to urge you to go back and watch the video for yesterday. There were a lot of nuggets, but mostly I had a lot of questions in there that will help jumpstart your unearthing your inner confidence. There's a lot of information that I want to encourage you to write down and journal those answers. As you do so, something is ignited within you. So I hope that you take a chance and go through yesterday's presentation that we did, as well as the handouts that we gave out yesterday as well, that you can circle your personal strengths. And remember what I said when it comes to personal strengths, right? You might circle some now and then, look at the rest of the list and say, I don't have those ones. But as you are now aware each day, I want you to be aware and see what strength did I present today, and go back on the list and circle that one, that you have presented that maybe you had not circled, when you did the exercise the first time. And it's always a good thing anyway, to maybe once a month or once every other month, to just go back and sit down and look at it and say, let me see what strengths I can recognize in myself right now, because I want you to make progress and to take account of the progress that you're making. So to do so, you'll have to look at that and give yourself credit and pat yourself on the shoulder and say, yeah, I did it. So today we have an interesting topic that we are going to be talking about today, which I cannot wait, because today we are going to be talking about cultivating unshakable confidence. Love that lady. See how confident she is? It's interesting how much we underestimate the way that we sit and the way that we stand, the way that we walk, that it also helps us to exude self-confidence, to feel good about ourselves when we stand a certain way, or when we, actually present ourselves in a certain way. But we're going to talk more about cultivating unshakable confidence. And as you can tell, today is day 2. So I'm going to go ahead and take off my video so that we can really get into it. The first thing that we have to talk about is, what is self-confidence? What is self-confidence? On your piece of paper or in your journal that you have with you, write down what self-confidence to you is. What is self-confidence, to you? Self-confidence refers to how much you believe in your strengths, your talents, and your abilities. To me, self-confidence is how much you really acknowledge and appreciate the uniqueness that is you, that you are different from everyone. Even if you are a twin, you are different. So it's your attitude towards yourself. It is how much you believe in yourself to achieve anything that you put your mind to. I have this saying that I'm always saying to myself and reminding myself, right? That there is nothing and nobody that can stop a made up mind. If you make up your mind right now to do something, to be somewhere, and to, do something with your life, your personal life, your careers, change something, and you make up your mind, I can guarantee you that there is nobody that can stop you with that made up mind. So it's often said to be single difference between, success and those who are, less successful, that the difference is confidence. And I believe that, and I subscribe to that, that is the biggest difference. Confidence, the self-belief in self that I've got what it takes. And if I don't have what it takes, I'm going to make sure that I get what it takes, and this is going to be a success. That's the difference between people that are successful and not successful. One of the biggest differences, I might say, there are many other differences from, successful and not successful, but confidence, you bet, it's one of those things right at the top. So going through again with what is self-confidence. Self-confidence is doing what you believe to be right, even if others don't believe in you, even if they're criticizing you. It is about believing in yourself and believing that where I am and what I'm doing is right, whether, anybody believes in it or not. Many a times, many people will want somebody to understand where they're going. So then you take so much energy trying to convince someone to believe you and to understand you. Well, self-confidence is about believing to be right in yourself. Self-confidence is also the willingness to take risks and go the extra mile to achieve better things. And this one is always one that, many people is like, I don't know. But believe it or not, confidence is admitting your mistakes and learning from them. Many people have a hard time saying, well, I was wrong. And I admit I made a mistake. It's hard when you're believing that you did right? But self-confidence is also taking the step when you know that, you know what, I didn't know that I was wrong, but I'm admitting to having made that mistake. That's self-confidence. Self-confidence is the willingness to come back from setbacks, to understand that when you fall, you don't have to stay down. But what it takes is that inner strength and that self-confidence to get back up again from any setbacks. It is the openness to work on self and build inner strength that is unshakable. So just with a yes or a Y in the chat room, having seen all of these things on self-confidence, do you think that some of these have affected your self-confidence because you were not aware of them? Just put a yes or a no or a Y or an N in the chat room. If you believe that, you know what, maybe I didn't, know that self-confidence is actually a willingness to go and take risks and go the extra mile. I didn't know that. But yes, it's true that it's one of those things that maybe has affected my own self-confidence. So just with a yes or and no in there, I see some people are putting the yes in there. Yes, thank you. So part of it, right, what I've learned is with everything else, we're talking about building unshakable self-confidence today. And with everything else, it always starts with the first step that you take. So I am so excited for all of you that are here right now, or any of you that registered and will be taking this, afterwards, because then that is the first step. Why is self-confidence important? This is the key question. Why is it so important? Why do we talk about self-confidence all the time? Self-confidence makes you positive. It makes you speak up for yourself. It helps you create better boundaries. It helps you build better relationships, achieve your goals, be more assertive, take risks, as we said, believe in improving on yourself every day. But most of all, with self-confidence, you can achieve more and become more successful. Let's face it, I don't know about you, but I'm always looking for ways and means to make more, because I do believe that money gives you options. And I'm a foreigner. So originally I'm from Zimbabwe, and I'm right here in the United States now, living in Orlando. And money gives you options. Without money, it's really, really challenging, because then you have to pay bills. If you're here in the United States, I mean, you will understand and probably agree with me that without paying the bills, then it's going to be difficult. So when I learned that, self-confidence makes the difference between those that find opportunities that are better for them, because now they have the confidence to sell themselves and says, listen, I'm a good employee. I deserve to be promoted. I deserve to get a job that is a six-figure job. All of that takes confidence. All of that takes believing in yourself. And all of that, makes, a difference between staying where you are and also moving to a better space, place, income, and everything. That's the difference. And that's the reason why we're talking about self-confidence, today. One of the things that I've been asked many a time is, well, wait a minute. So what causes low self-confidence? Why is it that, some people have look like they were born with confidence and some people are not? So believe it or not, yes, some people are born with low self-confidence. It is a genetic makeup at birth that some people are born with that. When we look at how people are birthed, it depends also on the genes of the mother, the father, and sometimes the circumstances that a parent goes through when they're, pregnant, and they go through depression, and then they have a baby that comes out with, depression. And when you have, a mental health, problem like depression, many a time it is linked to low self-worth and low self-esteem. So it is termed genetic makeup at birth. Sometimes childhood experiences, the things that we experience when we are children, those could be causes of low self-confidence, of believing in yourself. I know I was working with some people that were from, Africa and other places as parents when I used to work with parents and teenagers. And I said, I didn't know this until I also went to school, that in our culture, when you're told that you are not going to amount to anything, you are not going to be good enough for anything, because a parent is just upset that you're not listening and you're not cleaning up the house and you're not cleaning yourself. Or maybe for me, it was because, you keep getting those D's and you keep failing, and they keep calling and saying you're not studying, you're not doing homework. So a parent will say something, to say, I'm upset with you, you're making me look bad, and why aren't you doing what's right? So they say certain words unknowingly that they will affect a child when they grow up, and it becomes low self-confidence and low self-esteem. So that goes into that childhood experience. Sometimes cultural background and upbringing can also bring low self-confidence, because now you're trying to do something that your parents or anyone else in your cultural background and upbringing has never done. So guess what they say? What do you mean? We never did that. Nobody in our family ever did that. And here you go. You're saying, well, I want to work for myself and I want to have a business. And they say, well, but then we all have worked. We've got good jobs and we've worked. And you say, but I have this great idea. I think I can sell a product. And and they said, well, we don't know if that will work for you. I don't know if that will work for you. Cultural background and upbringing can also cause low self-confidence and self-doubt. Life experiences in general. I mean, every person has gone through life experiences that have affected their emotions and feelings, causing low self-worth, low self-belief, and sometimes just feeling unworthy, right, with life experiences. So these are the main causes of low self-confidence. Is this something that you can relate to, that, you know what, I do understand that, yes, there is a genetic, childhood experiences, cultural background, life experiences that can cause, low self-confidence. I'm a person that loves to interact, and with this platform here, because I am recording, that way you can get this recording at the end. I am not going to ask you to be on video or audio, so let's go ahead and put the chats in there. Put me a yes if you're agreeing with that these things can cause low self-confidence or low self-esteem. If you can just put in the chat yes or no in there. Again, when you listen to this playback, think back about your own life. Which one of these have you experienced that might be causing moments of low self-confidence and low self-worth? And just think about those moments and write them down. Because when we're talking about, igniting your own self-confidence and also your own inner strength, it's one of those things, that we have to self-reflect and take some time to really think about ourselves and our own lives. And the thing about life is we are all different and our life path has been different. So now when we look at each other, especially today, right, with, social media and everything, and we see that this person is doing good and this person is doing that, it's easy, especially for us women, to compare ourselves and say, well, wait a minute, so what is wrong with me? But when you understand now how our differences with these four, main causes, and you look at your life and you see exactly where you fall into it, it's easy for you now to start working on yourself at your own pace without comparing yourself, and actually working on bringing out your own inner strength based on your experiences and, the strength that you built. Again, continuing with the main causes of low self-confidence: trauma. Physical, sexual, emotional abuse will cause low self-confidence, low self-esteem. As I mentioned, the parenting styles, the way that we were treated in our families of origin, can affect us long after childhood. Bullying, harassment, humiliation. I'm telling you, I had to go through years of counseling myself. I'm a counselor, but I have to go through my own years of counseling because of bullying, harassment and humiliation that I experienced in primary school, which is, kindergarten in Africa, in Zimbabwe, right? In primary school, I experienced a lot of bullying and harassment, and I did not know or understand now when I was an adult why I was feeling the way that I was feeling, until I went into counseling and started talking about the humiliation that I had felt and the embarrassment and these people that taunted and teased me. So childhood bullying can leave a mark on your confidence, and it's important to acknowledge that and work through that. Gender, race, sexual orientation, these also can cause low self-confidence. And studies actually show that women, especially for us women, we worry more about how other people see us or what they say more than, men do. And as a result, we take fewer risks because we don't want people to talk about us. We don't want people to say that we failed. We don't want people to think that we're too confident or that we're too cocky or we are a show off, or we always have all of these fears that we have as women. So it's important to understand that gender, race, sexual orientation can affect low self-confidence and low self-esteem. Misinformation, not knowing the rules of the confidence game. The rules of the confidence game. And those rules will come through as we are continuing to talk about, the building of your self-confidence. Today, you'll understand, the rules as we go. Life experiences, social media. My goodness. With social media, here's the problem with social media. And I want you to understand this. Everything that you see on social media, right, is not a reflection of what is really going on with everybody in their lives. So I always, say to people, don't be intimidated by what people are going through or what they're showing you on social media, because then anybody can take a video and a picture at a different angle that works for them. And then here we think that, oh my God, look at their big house and look at their big thing. But then you don't know. if that's their big house or if that's their, place where they're at. So many a time I say to people, take everything with a grain of salt and just continue building on yourself, because social media can tell you, and then you can begin to think that you're less than, and yet you're comparing yourself to, most likely people that are not being real, that are not a reality out there. Anxiety and depression are really real. And it's very common to feel low self-confidence when you have anxiety and depression. And that's why we always encourage people to say, learn more about, these diseases, take care of yourself, also talk to, professionals, licensed professionals, like myself, about the anxiety and the depression, and also how you can take care of yourself, because it is easy to fall into the low self-confidence, area without knowing that it's just not you, it's everything that you're going through. Now, this big word, it's a big 4-letter word that affects confidence. Fear, fear, fear. Have you ever heard this saying that says, beyond your fears is everything that you've ever dreamed of? Give me a yes or a no. Have you ever heard that saying, beyond your fears is everything that you've ever dreamed of? There's a reason why that saying is there. Because everybody is afraid of something. Everybody is afraid of the unknown. Everybody is afraid. What if it doesn't happen? What if? What if? So because of that, I love that saying, that every time that I think about, okay, if I get over this fear, then my victory is beyond this. And sometimes the victory or success, right? It's not this big, oh, I'm successful. Oh, I've done it. That big step or small step that you'll have taken, beyond your fears, is a big success for you, because success is not always about the big achievements. It's about taking that small step and saying to yourself, oh, okay, I did something that scared me. I actually, am surprised that I was able to do this. Define your own fears, and then make sure you define your own successes at your own pace with something that matches you. That way, you are able to be as confident as you can be, little by little, without comparing yourself to anyone. So first of all, in your journal or on the paper that you have, when you get a moment, identify what your fears are. And then I want you to write what triggers. The trigger is what starts, to happen that causes me to be afraid of this thing that I'm afraid of. So write what those triggers are. So for an example, right, there are certain people, when we're talking about, childhood, there are certain words or that were said to us, or there were certain people, whether it's grandmother, mother, father, or sister, brother, that said something to us, right? And every time that they, I hear, well, you think you can do that? It's almost like I'm still hearing from back then, where I was always questioned, do you think you can do that? You think you got what it takes? So then as a result, now, if you are afraid and you stop and you say, why am I afraid? Guess what's going to come in that voice that comes back in and say, do you think you're going to be able to do that? Do you think you have what it takes to do that? So it's important to recognize what those triggers are. That way you are able to say, well, yes, I can. And yes, I will, So identify what those triggers are, of your fears. Is this making sense for those of you that are here with me, so far? Is this making sense? Okay. So what are the baby steps? You hear me talking about baby steps because I want to make sure, as we are talking in day 2 about how to build unshakable confidence, that you go easy on yourself. That you just don't think that, you know what, I have tried to build my confidence and everything should change within one day or within one moment or this 1 hour that we have, to be together. No, go easy on yourself and take baby steps to boosting your self-confidence. because you want to be able to achieve these results that I have for you right here. I want you to be able to feel positive, to be able to speak up for yourself, to be able to create boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. And I want to talk about boundaries because then, many of us are just moving around life without even, having boundaries, set boundaries. So people don't know what to respect and what not to respect. But I'm going to talk about that. It helps you create better relationships when you're feeling confident. And you also believe in yourself. And you believe that, you know what, I need to improve on myself every day. I can do something that improves on my self-confidence. So as of this moment, this day, take a look every day and say, what did I do today that I would say this is proof of my self-confidence? And just ask yourself that question every day. Just one thing that you have done or that you can do to prove that you are improving on your self-confidence, right? And I know you're going to be like, what baby steps can I take? Here we go. I got you. Smile more. It's one of those things that many people are like, what do you mean smile more? So here's the thing. Even if you feel nervous, smiling can help you feel more comfortable. And it also helps to improve your mood. Smiling is an example of how to turn negativity into positive. You wake up and you just start singing. So here's the thing. I just don't smile because I just thought, oh, let me smile. You know what makes me smile? I love to play music. And that's one of the things that I put on number 12. But I love to play music. And when I play music or I'm singing, and especially for me, mine is gospel music, right? If I'm singing gospel music, I'm playing music, for some reason, there is no way that I can prevent myself from smiling. It just comes, it's just natural as I'm singing a song. I just feel good about it. So as a result, guess what I do? Every Sunday, I play on a radio station. It's called Flow Time Radio. So if you go on YouTube and just put in Let's Praise Him or Dr. STEM, one word, DRSTEM, Let's Praise Him, you'll see all these shows where I'm actually the DJ that's playing gospel music, and I play for an hour every Sunday just to inspire, encourage other people, and to help people smile more. So many people are like, I don't know what to play. I'm like, hey, go to YouTube and listen to my playlist for the week because this is what made me smile. So figure out a way that you can smile. Coming up as a confident person with a confident appearance, right? Feeling, looking good, putting a little makeup. If you saw me at the beginning of this, I had my video on, and you'll see that I put on my makeup and everything. And people used to say, why are you putting makeup when you're just on video and you're in your house and you don't have to do this? I said, well, because I want to feel good. And feeling good is being confident, right? But I want to also be present so that I'm not looking at myself and thinking, ooh, I look like I just woke up. And yet there's someone on the other end of the video who really has life issues and life problems that we need to talk about. And we need to be aligned and working together, for me as a counselor and them, coming to me. So I put on my appearance so that I feel good and I'm ready and present for everybody that I talk to. Here's another way that you can also take a baby step. What are some of the things that you have done well in your life? What are some of the things that you have achieved in your life? I want to challenge you after this today. Please make a list of 100 things that you have done in your life that you consider to be, whoa, this was a good thing that I did this. And I mean, from graduating kindergarten to graduating, college, or to graduating a program that you took one time and it was only for pottery program and you actually went for the whole 3 days. Or maybe you went online and you took a self-confidence course that had 12 videos and you literally watched 12 videos in 12 weeks or 12 days and you finished that. Because many a time we take those little things for granted and we're like, oh, it was just a course. I just attended a conference. If you attended a conference, especially like now, today, This, give yourself credit for, even if you came for 10 minutes or 15 minutes and you were not able to finish the whole program and you get to the recording, give yourself credit, because that was actually good that you made a commitment to say, I want to hear what this lady is talking about self-confidence. Give yourself a win towards your self-confidence. But I want you to write 100 things to celebrate yourself and say, yep, I did it. I couldn't even remember. You'll be amazed at those things that you have done. What it does too, it gives you the confidence to say, oh, I am somebody. I've done all these things here and I totally forgot about them. I want you to celebrate your wins. Now, the next one is what I call up your skills. Up your skills means learn, 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 learn. They used to say knowledge is power, and I say knowledge elevates confidence. When you know more, your confidence is actually also grows to be more, and you become more confident knowing one more thing that the next person didn't know, right? So open yourself to learning and learning more about life, more about yourself, more about who you are, more about your passion and the things that make you different and unique. And that's what you want to be able to learn about and share with other people. Reflect and celebrate on past achievements is the same thing as celebrating your wins. Here's another big one that we sometimes forget. Do you have a supportive, like-minded tribe or people that you hang around with? Do you have people that have done things that you want to do, but you don't know how to do them, that you hang around with? Do you have people that are more successful in what they have done so far? And you're like, man, if I could even do half of those things that he or she has done, whew, that's going to be really good. You want to be around a supportive, like-minded tribe, because that always helps you to build yourself more. But guess what? They are also very embracing and also very helpful. And you like that, you want that. Find ways to be inspired, encouraged, and motivated. What motivates you? What encourages you? What inspires you? I go crazy on my social media. You will see me going with the tip of the day, or if I post something, I'm putting music at the beginning, or I'm adding a little song in there. There's a method to my madness, because when I do that and you're listening to either me saying something or you're reading any of my posts, it's because I want to lift your mood with that song where you're like, this song, I like this song. Even if I play it for 3 seconds or 4 seconds, for that minute that you come across my post, you're like, whoa, okay, I like this song. What is she saying, right? It's my way of inspiring, encouraging, and motivating. Guess who? Me, myself. So when I share that and I'm motivating myself, I'm so blessed, because then it gets to also motivate and inspire all those that come across it, that post. And have you noticed that whenever you're going through something, right, and you go through either social media or you're driving around, for some reason, there's a message that comes across the billboards or a post on social media, or someone you're talking to, they say something and you're like, how do you know? How did they know that this is what I'm going through? Or I was just wondering, what to do with this situation. Has that ever happened to you? Where all of a sudden somebody says something, and you're like, what? Did you know that I actually was going through this? Has that ever happened to you? Anybody in the chat? A Y or an N? Yes or no? I got some very quiet people here today. Okay, so here's the thing. At the beginning of the year, if you follow me, I put in a question where I said, what is that one word that is your word for the year? And I put mine as manifestation. That was my word. Do you know, from the minute I put that on there, right? And I asked, people, no? Oh, wow. All right. So when I put in manifestation, for some reason, so here's the thing, right? I know you put no, because now I've said this. Start to listen whenever you're thinking about something. Be open and just start to listen to people and just look around. You start noticing that you will get a word of something that encourages you, inspires you, or motivates you. And you're like, whoa, that goes with exactly what I was looking for, or I needed this message for the day. But I was telling you about the manifestation word, right? For some reason, now when people just talk and we're just talking in general, or I have a client who's talking, for some reason, they're like, whoa, I'm thinking about manifesting this. And I'm like, what? You just said manifesting. And they're like, yeah, why? I said, that's my word for the year. They're like, oh, okay. I guess manifesting is your word then. But for some reason, I'm hearing manifestation and manifesting everywhere. So let's test this with you. Write your one word on your piece of paper, or you can go to my, Facebook and write your word in there. Once you write it, I want you to start looking and listening. Look and listen, and you'll see what happens. And, tell me when you do see that starting to happen. Find ways to be inspired. We just talked about that. Say something. Say something. We underestimate the power of just saying something and having input that will build our self-confidence, rather than just saying yes and yes and yes and yes to everybody and everything. Find moments where sometimes you also say no, or sometimes you say something and a point across just so you have a voice, because many people get taken advantage of because they don't say anything. They're very quiet about everything, and people never know what their opinions are. So share your opinions. And then listen to your body's needs. I was talking to one client of mine this morning, and she says, for some reason, I'm just like feeling like not doing anything on weekends. My body's just like exhausted. And I said, guess what? Rest and relax, because the body will tell you that, when you're exhausted and you need relaxation. But when you don't do that, guess what the body also does? It breaks down your immune system, and all of a sudden now you have all this sniffling and coughing, and you get sick, and you don't want that. So please listen to your body's needs, because when you rest and relax, guess what? Confidence is up. Okay. This one here, I put number 10 because then, like my lady here, do a power pose where you wake up, or you just, stand in a different pose where you're just posing. For the heck of it, stand before the mirror and just make a confident pose. Do you remember how when we were little girls, and I know sometimes, gentlemen will watch these as well, but when you're a little boy or a little girl and you stand before the mirror and you're just making a pose, or you get a new dress, the first thing that you do when you come out, for some reason, we were like models, right? You start modeling and you just start making these poses to say, look, I like the dress, or thank you for the dress. And we're just posing. Do that. That will raise your energy and your vibration, hence also increasing your self-confidence. Create a self-esteem vision board. This one here, I want you to be creative. Take pictures of yourself when you were young, and or when you were at a church, at a function, at a wedding, and you felt good about how you look. Take those pictures and paste them on a board, because then they will show you who you truly are when you are in your confidence realm, right? So start from the time that, if you have pictures from the time that you were young to now, and take pictures of when you say, man, I looked good and I felt good. Get those pictures and paste them on a vision board, and you'll be amazed. Even just doing the exercise alone, it will feel so good that you start actually, feeling good about yourself, and just remembering that, boy, yeah, that was a good day and I really felt good. What did I do that day? I was just excited, or I was with people that I like and I was enjoying myself. I was around family. Whatever it is, the feelings and emotions will start coming up. So as you're pasting those pictures, have your little book in there and start writing the feelings that are also coming up for you in there. If you've never worked with me, or you've never attended on any of my sessions, I'm big on journaling. I'm big on writing things down, because then it helps you remember, but it helps the body and the mind remember what's important. So those are the baby steps that you can start, having. In the chat room, I'm going to ask, do you have any questions so far? Because that was my input on building unshakable confidence, having the baby steps that we can start with for day 2 as we talk about igniting your inner strength. In the chat, do you have any questions? Just put for me in there a Y or an N, yes or no. And as you know, many a time, if I don't get anything in between, it also means that there are no questions. But if you have questions, I'm going to give it a second and just, wait on you to write your question if you have any questions that you have so far. If you've watched those game shows, they have dun, 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 as they're waiting for someone to make an answer. And then if you don't, they go, grrr. All right. So my assumption is you probably don't have any questions. So please find some time to go back to yesterday's if you have not watched the one that we did yesterday. Today is day 2 that we were talking about, building unshakable confidence. So as you saw, I talked about what is confidence, what causes low self-confidence, what are some of the things that we can start doing as of today, baby steps to start building back your confidence or building unshakable confidence. What I do every day, if you were not here yesterday, at the end of my presentations, I go through what I call my commitment and promise to self. So what I want to do is to go through with you and say this with me. I have 4 different promises to yourself every day. Yesterday, we did 1 through 4. And today, we are doing 5 through 8. So let's say this together. I promise myself that I will forget the pains of the past, but remember their lessons. I promise myself that I'll maintain a stable peace of mind and protect my energy. I promise myself that I will not compromise my values for anything. And lastly, I promise myself to always learn to live in the moment. So with that concludes our day 2 of the 4 days that we'll be talking about igniting your own inner strength. I'll see you tomorrow, and thank you for coming.